Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, quite a number of things have happened. Now, we had Deku. Deku, he exposed the secrets of quite a few people at his school, and in the process, he revealed a secret of his own. Now, Deku obviously made the secret up, and while he did get in trouble, a lot more people got in trouble than he did. His secret was seen as just, hey, he shouldn't be making a gory story, while other people, they basically had personal lives either ruined or affected. Now, Deku, he then talked to Bakugo. Deku and Toga having to run from him, as Deku he made a move on Toga. He wanted to make sure he knew exactly how far he could push this with her. Toga obviously she does like him. He's her friend. He doesn't think her interests are weird. And Deku, he actually saw how far Toga, she might be mentally unstable. She is obsessed with blood. And whenever Deku showed that he would bleed for her, allowing her to actually mess with some of his own blood right in front of him, she actually felt a lot better. Right now she thinks that Deku, he actually does like her. He doesn't think that she's weird. And Toga, she actually is like that. Deku is somebody that she can confide in. And Deku, he finally understands that Toga really is crazy. Now, with that being said, we actually will start with Deku. Deku, yeah. He did receive some counseling at school. And while teachers, they were a bit more concerned about Deku making stories like this, he was able to play it off. He played it off as him and his, well, now girlfriend, Toga, they always watch movies together. They hang out outside school, and Deku, he wanted to try and make a script. He was kind of basing it off of characters from said movie, which you had mentioned. And well, the fact is, he wanted to change a few names around. He wanted to, well, basically use it as a format. And he does actually somewhat apologize about having it in his notebook. Now, obviously there are a few other things that the teachers, they want to know about. But with the fact that the police were disturbed by it and they destroyed it, yeah, there's kind of not much to go on. Now, Deku he would try to explain what he wrote. And the teachers, or the counselor, yeah, they actually see that Deku he's aware that this is kind of messed up. And the fact that he doesn't acknowledge it and apologize does say quite a bit. Now, there actually is whenever Deku, he does leave the room. And right now, he does actually head back to class and sit back down. As right in front of him, there actually is Bakugo. And Deku, he does start through the process. Now, Deku begins to try and test his mental powers. Since, if his powers go beyond just mind reading, he wants to know. He wants to find out what he can do. Now, Bakugo, yeah. Over the next couple days to weeks, things start to be weird with him. He starts to notice that things don't often feel right when he does leave school. And at first he doesn't realize what's going on. Up until he does encounter Deku one day and realize something. Whenever Deku does speak to Bakugo, Bakugo notices exactly what's off. And he ends up bolting away from Deku and trying to report him to the school. Bakugo tries to make a report to the school that Deku, he actually did try to mess with his head. And many people, they're not too sure how that would even work. And Bakugo, yeah. He does get somewhat in trouble for trying to make false claims. Because Deku's powers, from what Bakugo described the incident as, wouldn't have worked that way. Now, Bakugo, this will go on. Deku does a few things and he cries wolf. And everybody, they get tired of it real fast. Bakugo, he's somewhat affected by this too. His secret got out, and so did many other people's. And the school year would go by with people just knowing Bakugo as he doesn't like Deku, and he shouts that he's a villain. He always tries to make claims that Deku, he's altering his perception. And that's just how things are. Now, Bakugo, he does escape the situation a few times, up to the point where even Mitsuki has to get involved and actually take Bakugo to a doctor because they think something is wrong with him. Now, with that, months go by, and Deku, he does continue on. Him learning the martial art, I believe it's called Kyusho? Jitsu? Or it's the pressure point martial art I mentioned, which it is actually kind of interesting. Now, he also has tried to learn a bit more about just simple MMA fighting, since it does have more to do with. I don't think MMA has grappling in it, does it? I could be mixing that up with something else at the moment. Now, Deku is trying to learn more about this stuff. And while he is trying to learn more about this, he actually has used his time at school to use his quirk, while using time outside of school to train his body and exactly what he can do with his powers. Now, with that being said, Deku, yeah, by the time UA does roll around, he does have quite a bit of things going on. However, Toga, today she actually isn't with Deku. And Deku, he is kind of surprised. Toga, she mentioned that she wanted to go to UA, yeah, but she also mentioned something else. And Deku was kind of annoyed. Toga, she's been getting a little distant from him. And, well, he's not too sure why that is. She should be at his side. She should be somebody he could rely on. Someone he knows. Now, Deku, yeah. Right now when he does walk into UA, he actually see a girl standing there. And right now she actually does look very nervous. Deku looking into her mind, as right now there actually is Ochako, who she is on commenting on a few things that she is worried about. What if she fails the entrance exam? What if she doesn't get a good enough score? I mean, she didn't eat this morning, and she's kind of nervous too. Her stomach is messing with her, and she just had coffee. God, okay. Calm down. Just, don't worry about it. Okay. You studied hard last night, and you got sleep. And, well, your quirk. Yeah, just, your quirk's good. You just gotta do this. Okay. Now, Deku does walk by, and right now when he does, so I'm gonna turn and stop. He does ask if she's okay. Uh, yeah, sorry. It's just, a lot's happening, and I'm super nervous. I see that. So, is something wrong? No. It's just, I'm not very sure if I'll get in. That's a stupid way of thinking. What? I mean, I don't think I understand what you mean. Sorry. Listen. What I mean is, why do you already think you're going to fail? Huh? Well, yeah. You're looking at it already like you failed before you even tried. The fact that you're doing that, it isn't good. Uh, yeah, I suppose you're right. I am. I've trained hard to get here. In fact, I've spent the last year doing quite a bit. And I'm quite happy. Fact of the matter is, I plan to get into Class 1A and become a very good hero. You're going for the hero course? Your power must be really good then. It isn't. Really? Yes. I just plan. I work for my power, and I'm confident in it. Try to be the same way. I'm sure you've trained hard. I'll see you there. Now, Deku does turn and walk away. And Ochako, she actually started to think. The guy was calm. He didn't even seem nervous. But if his power isn't suited for the hero course, how is he going to get into the hero course? But wait, hang on. If he believes that he can get inside the hero course, then she should. I mean, her power is good. Right. Okay, just calm down. Now, Ochako does try to reassure herself. And right now over Deku, he does get sat next to Bakugo. Bakugo, he does keep giving Deku a bit of a side eye. As Bakugo, he does try to ask Deku exactly where the hell his creepy girlfriend is. And Deku doesn't want to stare at him, as Deku doesn't say a word. Now, Deku, he actually is slightly worried. However, there is one for Toga. She has come running in a bit late, and she has to sit down for the exam. Now, Deku, he was a bit worried. If Toga dropped out, things could have gotten bad. Things wouldn't have been good. And that's where things get a little tricky. He needed Toga for the plan, but then there's that girl. Okay. Maybe things could be easier that way. Now, Deku currently he is going through a few things on his exam. However, right now there actually is Bakugo, who he's sitting there looking at his papers, and he's trying to focus on what the words are saying. However, there's currently from his point of view. As he's sitting down there, he's trying to go through the questions and read them. But the answers, they're changing. But no, wait. But that one, C used to be B and A used to be C, but D used to be B, or what's going on here? They changed again. Wait, but now, Bakugo, he's a bit annoyed. And right now he actually isn't going to look directly at Deku, as Deku, he is still looking down. And right now, whenever Bakugo does go to look back towards his page, everything looks back to normal. Him going to mark down a few things as fast as he can. Now, Bakugo, he is annoyed. And right now the fact is, he's not too sure if Deku's messing with him anymore, or if he really has gone crazy. But he knows in his heart it has to be Deku. The crazy bastard, he's using his power. He knows it. Now, Bakugo, yeah. After this is all said and done, everybody they do get ready for the combat portion. And whenever Deku, he actually is standing around, looking at a few people, he actually is going through a few of their minds. As, right now, he does stand there without Toga. Now, Deku, he's looking into a few people's minds. And right now, Deku, he does look into the mind of a blonde guy standing there. As right now, Ayama, he is having a few thoughts go through his head. He really has to be careful here. He needs to make sure to get in Class 1A. That is what the master assigned him to do. And Deku, he does something good to raise an eyebrow. Him intrigued by this. As right now, Ayama, he does continue on with his line of thinking. The master wanted him to get into UA. He gave him his quirk to try and get him to be this traitor. Get him to be involved. I mean, the master still has plans to flesh out. Things to do. And him being involved here. I mean, it gave him a power. But he's also worried. If he fails, will he be turned into a Nomu? Or, no. He won't be turned into a Nomu, but will he have to retreat? Or maybe if he gets in Class 1B, will things still work? But All Might wouldn't be a teacher for Class 1B. Now, Deku, he doesn't smile. He found something interesting. Now, Deku does start to dig deeper. As right over Deku does find the name All for One, he actually does get someone put their hand on his shoulder. Deku immediately bring his hand up and grabbing onto theirs, before stepping backwards and bring up his right hand directly onto the back of Ida's elbow. And Ida, after being stumbling forwards and knocking onto the ground, he actually is confused. As Deku does let go of his hand and tell him sorry. Oh, fuck. What are you doing? You startled me. I apologize. No, you're just staring at that person. Now, Deku does look back up. As Jano, he actually does look towards Ochako. As she actually does stare at him, kind of giving him a bit of a wave. And Deku does want to turn to Ida. informing Ida that he gave her some words of encouragement before they got into the test, and he was a bit worried. He does apologize because he himself is nervous, and he's zoned out. He did not mean to stare. Now, Ida's a bit alarmed. Deku, he's zoned out, but in that second, he's really strong. Of course, yes. I understand what you're talking about. It is a natural reaction. But please, try to pay more attention. I'll try, yeah. Sure. Now, Deku does walk away. However, he does do one thing that he doesn't really understand happens. Ida right now does look down at his hand. And if he does so, he does see something strange. Before going to bring up his other hand and trying to wipe it away. And Ida, he is confused. As whenever it doesn't go away, he actually just brings his hands up to his glasses, pulling them away and seeing that they're cracked. Now, Ida, he is a bit alarmed. However, right now he does just going to take off his glasses and put them directly into his pocket. Now, Deku does walk to the front of the line. And right now, whenever everybody, they do have the test begin, Deku, he does go rushing forwards. Now, a lot of people are surprised, and there actually is Deku's speed. With his intense training, he's pushed his body past certain human limitations. And right now, while he can't punch through a robot, he actually is being sure to dodge and weave around the legs, going under them, or if he can, jumping over them and smashing the buttons in the back, trying to disable them and take them down. And right now, Deku, his quirk is not really effective here. However, right now, what he can do is try and sabotage a few other people. He already sabotaged the guy with the engines in his legs. If he's correct, that guy isn't Genuine's brother. And then there's actually that girl. What was her name? He never got her name, did he? Oh well. If he can get her, then things will be good. But then again, there's that one guy. His quirk. Deku actually going to fly over the back of a robot and bring his hand out, rushing forwards and smashing onto the button. Him turning and watching a laser blast right by, before Deku does look back towards the guy who fired it. The fancy man. Now, right now Ayama does stand there, and Deku does stare back at him. Right now his eyes, they're focused, and Ayama, he's a bit surprised. As Deku, he does stare at Ayama, and mouth the words, I know. Now, Ayama's confused, as Deku does something to point to the left, and Ayama does something to turn, as a robot does swing a hand out towards him, and he actually has to somewhat throw himself backwards, trying to dodge. Now, Deku actually does go back to the current task, as right now there actually is a few people up in the observation room, and they are watching. The students this year, they're quite impressive. And right now, All Might, he does see somebody here. He sees a boy fly over the back of a robot. Him trying to land onto the ground, as right now if he does land, he actually does try to move. Him trying to move and avoid. His speed is good. And there actually is one for Deku, he does slide underneath the robot before going to actually bring his hands downwards and push himself backwards. Him actually smashing his back against the button. Now, right now Eraserhead is kind of intrigued. Deku, he's purely focused on speed and striking power. That's almost similar to him. At one point he was like that. He can't use support tech here. If the boy has a quirk that relies on support tech, and he could use it, it would be good here, but right now he's trying to go for the tactical approach. The same thing he did during the entrance exam. Hit the buttons and don't focus on breaking the robots. Avoid and use your speed. Use your agile frame and move fast. Now, Deku does continue to do this. And right now a few people, they actually see Deku just take down the robots by turning them off. Now, there is whenever the 0 pointer does come in. And right now, whenever everybody, they actually are running around, Deku, he actually started to read a few people's minds. He wants to know what some of them might be doing here. because that thing, I mean, hell, it's powerful. And he wants to see if they'd break it. He wants to see if someone would blow it up. I mean, that thing is messing with a lot of their heads. And Deku, yeah. Right now, he does actually hear a mind. Before he does, so I'm going to turn back to his zero pointer. And right now, Deku, he actually hears Chako's mind. The girl screaming out for help, as right now, Deku, he does look around. A lot of people, they're running past him. And Deku, he does directly go to bring his hands up and wave them out. As right now, Deku is just standing still. And a few people in the observation room, they're confused. Deku stands there with an expression of surprise on his face. Before he does, I'm going to point over towards the robot and bring up a finger signifying that there's one person over there. Now, Principal Nezu is actually quite surprised. And whenever they do go to Ducky stop the zero pointer, All Might he is sent in. Now, the zero pointer was shut down right where it was. And whenever All Might does come in, they do actually find Ochako under the rubble. Now, Ochako is taken out and given to Recovery Girl. And right now, as everybody, they are leaving, and Ochako is getting her injuries checked out. There actually is Deku, who he actually is going to walk away. However, All Might, he does stop Deku, and informing Izuku that that was a very good thing he did. A few people looking around, directly at him, to which All Might would explain. If Izuku didn't warn anybody in the observation room, Ochako may have been seriously injured. It's a very good thing that he didn't run in there himself, because he could have been seriously harmed from the robot. Now, All Might does actually congratulate Deku. He used his head, and he didn't go rushing in because of the possible danger. That was a real scenario where someone could have been harmed. And Deku does look at All Might before telling him. He just didn't want her to get hurt. Now, Deku actually would walk over. And whenever he does, so I'm going to bend down, he does actually ask Ochako if she's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. I didn't realize that you heard me. It's no problem. Are you okay? Yeah, a recovery girl. She just said that I need to be patched up a bit. And, well, I need to go home and rest. Now, Deku does actually hear Ochako's mind. Ochako, she does have a few things going on. Right now, she is thinking about what she just left out of that situation. The conversation. She didn't tell Deku that Recovery Girl told her to get something to eat and rest. But right now, food. She's going to have a very small lunch. And even then, if she does spend her money today, will she have enough money to actually eat for the rest of the week? Or, not the rest of the week, but up until school starts? I mean, things have been a bit scarce as they are. Now, Deku actually just bring his hand out and tell her, here, they need to go actually get something to eat. He's a bit starved. Now, Ochako is kind of surprised, and Deku does tell her, it's his treat. Now, Ochako is confused as Deku doesn't pull her to her feet and walk away. Now, Ochako, she actually just followed Deku. And right now, she actually is trying to tell Deku about how she really, really is okay. And that she kinda doesn't really want to go out anywhere. Now, Deku, he is still trying to tell her, come on, if they're going to be classmates at UA, then they might as well make friends. I mean, seriously, things are all alright. Besides, it's his treat. Consider it a way of saying, well, hey, he's sure she'll get in. Now, Ochako's kind of confused, and there actually is where Deku, he does try to reassure her. She's not confident in her power. That's why she doesn't think that she got in. He is. And he actually has trained his power not just his power, his physical body. Now, whenever Toga does meet up with Deku, there actually is where Ochako, she actually does see the way these two do act together. They're very close. And right now, Deku, he actually just introduced Toga as a friend of his. Now, Toga, she actually is kind of confused, as Deku does tell Toga about exactly how he met Ochako in the testing ground. In fact, he talked to her before she showed up. This is his friend. Now, Toga, she actually is kind of surprised, as she does think that Deku, he means that she is the friend he's introducing. Now, Deku, he does take both these two out. And right now, the three, they do sit there eating some food. As whenever Ochako, she does go to leave and somewhat wave the two off, she actually talk about or think about what happened. And right now, Deku does hear it. Ochako is quite happy that she did make some new friends. But then again, she feels like she also did abuse their charity. I mean, the burger and fries, they were so good, but she feels she feels a little bad now. I mean, yes, it was his offer, but was it bad taking it up? No, no. He was kind enough to do that for her. Now, their actions were Toga and Deku, they're walking home. And right now, Deku, he actually is talking to Toga about what he may have heard from another classmate. What? You looked into their heads? Yeah. Listen, I know you're not really that fond of the whole hero thing. You just did this for me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, what are you thinking? Well, you know how people don't like us because of our powers? Um, sort of? Yeah. I think I found something that would be interesting. I'll talk to someone at UA whenever I meet them. Hopefully, I meet them. In fact, have you ever heard of the League of Villains? The League of Villains? Yeah. I mean, we could use our powers unrestrained. Really? Yeah. But I mean, doesn't that sound bad? I mean, wouldn't I harm people? Toga, hmm? You be harming people who get in the way. Get in the way? Yeah. I mean, think about it like this. There are very many bad people who pretend to be heroes. And, well, there are a lot of bad guys out there. The League of Villains, they'll give you a bit of a chance. Besides, people, they hurt people all the time. And we'll actually get to have a bit more of a show. They could bring his hand up and telling Toga, as he actually won't wrap his arm around her, that they can actually have a lot more fun with that. They can actually coat a wall with blood. See how that looks. See how pretty the color would be. And Deku, he actually feels Toga somewhat get a bit excited. Her giggling a bit, as right now she actually tried to ask Deku exactly what he's talking about. And Deku just tell her, right now they'll be able to see as much blood as they want to. If Deku, his suspicion is correct. However, sadly, if it is correct, she may have to drop out of UA. What? Yeah. I know you haven't really trained for it. You are very strong. But it's just something I'm seeing. You mean I wouldn't have to go to the hero school? Not if you don't want to. Okay. I can see how it works. Now, Toga does nod her head. And right now Deku, he would get the acceptance letter from UA about a week later. And whenever he actually head to class, the first person he does walk into the room and see is Ayama. And Ayama, he actually stared looking back at Deku, as Deku just stared at him, before actually asking if he can speak with him in private. Now, Right now, class, it does get put in session. Balko, he does make a bit of a fit about everything, and the first day, it would proceed. But throughout the entire thing, Ayama, he is concerned. Meanwhile, Deku, he actually is listening to Ayama's thoughts. What he did is try to put Ayama on the spot, and then whenever everything started to roll around, he just heard Ayama spill his own secrets. Because of one simple thing. He got nervous as to whether or not Deku he might know about what exactly he's doing here. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.